The Film Basement is filmed in sunny West Hartford, Connecticut, in front of a live studio audience.
Welcome to the Filmmaker's Basement after our couple-week-long hiatus. I'm Brandon.
Andrew.
And we're going to be reviewing movies that are somewhat recent that we've seen. There won't be a Pilot Wings this week because I had COVID, so I've been a little under the weather and wasn't able to get around to it. But Andrew has another movie that he wants to talk about, so we'll get into that a little bit later on. But to start out, the movie I saw, which is the movie I saw right before I got COVID on opening night, and I'm pretty sure I got it at that opening night screening, was the second Sonic the Hedgehog movie. So, after settling in Green Hills, Sonic is eager to prove that he has what it takes to be a true hero. His test comes when Dr. Robotnik surprisingly returns with a new partner, his best friend Knuckles, in search of a mystical emerald that has the power to destroy civilizations, allegedly. Sonic teams up with his own sidekick and best friend, Tails, and together they embark on a globe-trotting journey to find the emerald before it falls into the wrong hands. Also, there's a wedding at some point. So this movie wasn't bad. It just wasn't good. I think it felt very much like the last Sonic movie. I don't know if you saw that. It wasn't worth seeing. If you liked the last movie, you'll probably like this one. Like I said, I saw this on opening night, so that's when all the real diehard Sonic fans and children went. And let me tell you, they were flipping out at this movie. They were like, well, the dude next to me was literally jumping out of his seat and like jumping in the air at certain sections of the film.
How old was this?
He was
dude?
like late teens, early 20s.
Oh my
Way
God.
too old to be losing his mind over Sonic the Hedgehog. But I mean, hey, they all looked like they loved it. They were having the best time in the world. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't like, it wasn't something to talk about. Like, I wouldn't recommend someone seeing this because it just wasn't that special to me. So the plot is very bare bones. Like, we're running around the world trying to find clues to this like mystical emerald that they're trying to get. Also, Knuckles and Eggman are trying to get it, and again, there's this random wedding that the human side characters are at throughout this entire movie that doesn't feel like it goes anywhere, and it's incredibly convoluted. Like, ends up being like a very convoluted plot to capture Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, I don't know where the heck that came from, but that was its own thing. So yeah, just very like, we're gonna go here now to get this thing. Now we're gonna go here now, and Knuckles is gonna show up, and he can punch things really good, I guess. Idris Elba is here. Yeah, this is a very weird plot to the movie. Like last one, you'll probably like this one. I will say, like, this is definitely a great movie to take your kids to. Like, if you got kids, they will probably enjoy this movie, and you will not hate yourself for watching it. You will probably be okay. You will have an okay time watching this movie, and your kids will love it. So, definitely recommend it for the children. Cast, like, movie-wise, just not a lot stands out. Like, the cast wasn't particularly amazing to me. I thought, people kept saying to me in the first one that Jim Carrey played a really good Eggman, and I honestly didn't really see it all that much. He was honestly very annoying to me, and somehow he just got more annoying in this movie. So that was kind of disappointing, because everyone kept saying he was really good, but I just don't see it. He just seems annoying. Idris Elba as Knuckles didn't really stand out at all. Like, I thought that would be a more interesting casting choice, but it just kind of didn't go anywhere. Knuckles was, funnily enough, just kind of a knucklehead. Just not really much to his character, at least it didn't feel that way to me. The other thing was that the effects were kind of funky, which is weird for a movie where your main character is an animated hedgehog. You'd think they'd have that on nail, but there were a lot of times where the effects looked really janky. One time, particularly towards the end, and this wasn't even with one of them. This was with Eggman is like standing on top of this giant robot he summoned, because that's what Dr. Eggman does.
Yeah.
He's like standing on top of it, and he ends up like Sonic beats him by doing his Sonic the Hedgehog thing. And as he's standing on top of this thing, the machine starts falling over, and he's falling down too with it. But you can see it's a green screen that's not much bigger than his body. Like, it's very obviously a green screen. I could almost see the square that was around him falling down with him. So, like, effects like that, there's like a scene where they're in, like, a snow, like, an avalanche, essentially, and Sonic is, like, snowboarding down a mountain. And, like, a couple times it looks like his body clips into itself. I don't really know how to describe it other than that, which looks very janky. So it's very weird that a big budget movie with a very well animated character, for the most part, has like a lot of weird glitches like this. But I will say overall they didn't detract too much from the film. Again, if you're a kid, you probably won't care all that much. It'll probably be, again, just a really good time for you.
Is that something that's noticeable to everybody, or was it just noticeable to you because you've taken film and editing classes?
I'm not sure. I would have to see if somebody else is noticing this, but
I guess I'm gonna have to go see Sonic.
you might. Well, I don't know. If you want to use your free AMC pass, check it out. Because I don't know, there were definitely some sections that looked very janky, but that could also just be me. Everyone else around me again was flipping out at everything that happened. They were loving it. This is like the crowd to see Sonic the Hedgehog.
It's crazy. I mean, I can see people getting excited. It's strange that people were getting really excited in a theater in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Was it a big theater? Is it a big theater that you go to, or is it?
It's like an AMC. I mean, I think it like in total it was like 150, 200 seats. I would say it was definitely packed. Actually, not 150. Maybe like close to 100, 120 seats.
I'm just thinking because there's a lot of Easter eggs in like a Sonic movie that they can put into, especially when they're adding Knuckles and Tails.
I'm sure there are, especially towards the end. If you're a big Sonic fan, people lost it at the end of this movie when they had the because there is an end credit scene, and oh my god, I thought the end credit scene was like the last one. Because the last one for me, I thought was hilarious. Essentially, Tails shows up and he flies off.
Yeah.
It's just very janky and funny. And this one felt very similarly to me.
So it leaves it open for a third one?
Yes, very open for a third one. And you know what?
Yay.
I wouldn't even be that mad if they did a third one. I just kind of want them to do better. Like, just put a little more work into it.
I will say the promotional posters for this movie have actually been really good because they've modeled the promotional posters off of the original Sonic the Hedgehog game covers.
It is funny. They did give out a comic book and a poster for opening night that I do have somewhere. But I'm of course not holding on to them. I'm not the Sonic fan, so I've given those away to one of my friends. But
yeah, the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 poster with Sonic and Tails, and then like Mr. Robotnik peeking over the Sonic the Hedgehog logo is an exact kind of like replica of the original Sonic the Hedgehog 2 video game cover. Yeah.
It's nice they're paying homage to that. I wish there was more stuff like that in the movie.
Well, the Dr. Robotnik robot, because that wasn't in the first one, was it, right?
No, so that's like some BS towards the end where they get the Chaos Emeralds and Dr. Eggman can do whatever he wants and summons a giant robot. Which I will admit, that robot was really well done. I think that felt very Eggman. Which is, I think, what was missing from that character for me is that he doesn't really have any like Eggman-like stuff.
Well,
he doesn't feel as cartoonish.
Well, it's because Dr. Robotnik is like, he kind of looks like Gru, if you know from Despicable Me. He's very top heavy and got really skinny legs.
Yeah.
So like having Jim Carrey play that role as Jim Carrey, it's just kind of like it doesn't look right. It's definitely got the mustache better.
Oh, the mustache was good. I will admit his attention to character worked very like the details into his costume were very nice. I guess I'll give him that. Like the costuming did look nice. I like the robot towards the end. That was also very good. But it just doesn't make up for a character who kind of ends up being annoying, minus a couple scenes where he was definitely funny. I can't really describe them. There are one or two scenes. Okay, so now I'm not even gonna go into it. There are one or two scenes where he's okay, but other than that, not my thing. But so overall, very middling. Probably wouldn't recommend it, but if you got kids, take them to see it. They'll probably have a good time, and you won't be bored.
Or if you like Sonic.
Or if you like Sonic, definitely see the movie. You'll lose your mind.
Well, I have seen 3 movies since Brandon's been out, and I was on vacation for a few days. I also started a new job. That's why we're kind of like wonky on our schedule. So like now that I've kind of got my schedule figured out, we'll be back to recording weekly. But the first movie I wanted to talk about, I'll talk about 2 since we're not doing Pilot Wings. But the first movie I want to talk about is Morbius. Morbius is a Marvel movie.
A piece of work from what I've heard.
It's certainly is. Its biochemist Michael Morbius tries to cure himself of a rare blood disease, but he inadvertently infects himself with a form of vampirism instead. I am done
Oh boy.
with superhero movies or comic book movies, excuse me. Comic book movies attempting to make a villain who is supposed to be a villain into a hero. They did it okay with Venom. I didn't mind Venom so much because he still had kind of that like evil tendency with him, like wanting to eat people and stuff. But Morbius from the comic book is a Spider-Man villain, and he's a vampire. Like, he's supposed to be a bad guy, and then he gets turned into an anti-hero later on. Whereas this movie just immediately makes him out into an anti-hero or this kind of hero. He has to like drink blood to keep his vampire persona like at bay. Acting wise in this movie was rough. Who is it? It's not Joaquin Phoenix. Is it Jared Leto?
Oh,
who plays
in
Michael?
This movie?
He plays Michael Morbius. Jared Leto.
Oh wow.
If I have that correct, which I believe I do. Yes. Jared Leto plays the main character, Michael Morbius, and you would think Jared Leto, good actor.
I think he's
maybe
kind of
not
a freak, honestly.
Maybe not so much in the Suicide Squad when he played Joker for a little bit. But his acting in this movie was really bad. Like, there was a scene where he is trying to seclude himself from drinking blood, and then like his best friend comes in and tells him, hey, I need blood, like to be better, and he's like cured himself already, so he's like all buff and like he doesn't have to walk with canes anymore. And he's basically telling his best friend to leave because of how dangerous the serum is that he gave himself. And the acting in that scene is just so off that it just put me off for the rest of the movie. The action scenes are just not very good. The main villain, which is played by Matt Smith, who is Doctor Who.
Yeah.
He does an okay job as the villain. A lot of people said they didn't like Matt Smith as the villain, but I thought he did pretty good, acting wise and portraying that character. I also don't know much about Morbius's backstory to know about this movie. So like going into it, I was just like, okay. And then it's a Sony movie, so it's not even a Marvel movie. It's not part of the MCU. However, there's a scene at the end, which has been out for a couple of weeks now, so it's not really spoiling. Plus, it was in the trailer. But there's a scene at the end where Vulture shows up. Michael Keaton's character from the Spider-Man movie, the first Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, Homecoming. And he shows up because of this purple light in the sky, like the multiverse kind of thing. And then you're like, why is Vulture going into this world from the multiverse when the multiverse was pulling all the people who knew Spider-Man to that universe? Like, I'm confused. So then at the end, in the post-credit scene, like, Vulture is like, we're both here because of Spider-Man. I think we should team up, which is starting to set up the Sinister Six, which I'm okay with. But Morbius was trying to be a hero throughout the entire movie, and now at the end, he's just like, yes, let's kill Spider-Man. Like,
Did
what?
Spider-Man even show up in the movie?
No,
like, why
and it's crazy because
why is he so against Spider-Man already?
I don't know, because none of, like, in the trailers, it had all of a whole bunch of like Spider-Man stuff in this movie. Like, there was a poster of Spider-Man with the word murderer written on it. There was you could see Oscorp. So you're like, which version of Spider-Man does this Sony universe fall into? Is it Andrew Garfield? Everyone was thinking it was Andrew Garfield because you didn't think
That would be wild if it was
because
that.
Venom has already been seen in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And Morbius and Venom shared the same universe. So the only thing that I can think of is that it's Andrew Garfield's universe.
But after all this time, that would be a wild thing to return to.
In the movie, they got rid of all of the Spider-Man references. So there's no reference to Oscorp. There's no Spider-Man poster behind Morbius when he's walking down the street. Like, the only thing that's different is you see the Daily Bugle in one scene, and you see Morbius makes a Venom reference. So you know Venom is in this universe. It's just very strange, like where they're going to try to tie into this, which makes me to think that they might be trying to... because of Spider-Man No Way Home, they might be trying to create an Amazing Spider-Man 3 because Andrew Garfield never got a third movie. He only got 2. So we might be able to see Andrew Garfield again as Spider-Man in his own movie in the Sonyverse. So... but we'll see. Overall, movie was not very good, especially the climax. The climax was very, underwhelming, I would say. I'm pretty sure I fell asleep during this movie. And I don't know if that's because I started a new job and I'm tired, but, like, I don't know.
Let's chalk it up to the movie. I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah, so... you can go see it if you're a Marvel fan, if you know about Morbius, but honestly,
the dozens of you that know about Morbius.
Yeah, if you don't have an AMC Stubs subscription or like some sort of subscription where you get to see movies for free, just wait for it to come out on like DVD or something and get it from Redbox for $1, and then I would say rent it from Blockbuster, but I don't know if many people are going to know what that means.
all 2 people in Alaska who have been to a Blockbuster recently know about it.
So that was one of the movies I went and saw that was underwhelming. The second movie that I went and saw was underwhelming. Was a sequel. It was the third movie in the Fantastic Beasts series. Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Again, another movie I went to and think I fell asleep in at some point.
Not a good track record so
Not
far.
a good stuff. Well, I don't know if I'm like having a depressive episode or if I'm just like tired or if I'm just getting bored by these movies. But so Albus Dumbledore assigns Newt and his allies with a mission related to the rising power of Grindelwald. Very interesting. Very upset that they've recast Grindelwald. Because as we all know, Johnny Depp is going through some stuff right now.
That's one way of putting it. Yeah.
If you've been on TikTok and seen like his court proceedings,
they're all over it.
It's pretty much this movie. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Mads Mikkelsen. Mads Mikkelsen is great. It's a great casting for the character. I'm just kind of disappointed it wasn't Johnny Depp again, but I don't know. It wasn't like I'm waiting for another Harry Potter movie or a Wizarding World movie where it's like it brings me back into this universe, and I just haven't gotten that yet from any of these movies. And I have enjoyed the Fantastic Beasts movies mainly because of I like animals, and seeing all these like mythological creatures or Wizarding World animals is actually really cool. But this one went away from like the first Fantastic Beasts movie. The first 2, you see like it's all about these creatures. The first one was basically all about it. It's called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. The second one was more about the story of Grindelwald and how he's rising to power and everything. And the third one is just nothing. Like I thought it was very interesting that they actually finally on screen confirmed that Albus Dumbledore had a homosexual relationship, or that he was gay. He was gay.
He's the big G.
Or is gay.
Yes.
I thought that was interesting. That's a direction I didn't see them going. but they did, and nothing against it. Everyone can live their life how they choose, but I just thought it was interesting that they did that. They referenced it a few times actually, about how him and Grindelwald had a relationship. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not as pulled into these movies as I was for like the original Harry Potter movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like the original Harry Potter movies, and I think that might be just because there's no book. Like there's no book for Fantastic Beasts. So there's no like reference that I can go to, or that I've read before.
Could also be they're just running out of steam with those movies. I mean, what is it? What are we on Harry Potter movie wise? There was 8 or 9 main Harry Potter movies.
There was eight Harry Potter movies, and now there's 3
Fantastic Beasts, so 11 movies total. Yeah. I mean, you can only keep going for so long before, especially because they're essentially just doing a prequel, right? It's basically just
this is a prequel.
Yeah.
This takes place years before Harry Potter's born. Albus is played by Jude Law. And he's like really young, so it's really weird. I want the backstory of where Albus Dumbledore went from wearing really nice 3-piece suits to becoming an old decrepit man wearing like night robes.
Yeah,
like I want to know that. Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, maybe that's its own movie. That's the next movie.
I know.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find a Wardrobe. No, fantastic wardrobes and where to find clothes. Maybe. Yeah, something like that.
I just don't know. It was an okay movie. I mean, it kind of wraps up the series of the 3 movies. So, I mean, Grindelwald escaped. So I don't know if they're going to do another one. They could. I mean,
if it makes enough movie, maybe they will.
Yeah, if it makes enough money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's got a 6.5 on IMDb. And I actually looked up the Rotten Tomatoes score.
I'd be more curious in the box office, honestly.
Let's see. Box office for Fantastic Beasts opening weekend did $42 million.
How much did it cost?
Worldwide it has done $280 million.
Oh, okay, yeah, so it'll probably.
Gross U.S. and Canada, it's done $67 million. So opening weekend was a week ago today. So in 2 weeks it's done $67 million, which is not surprising.
It's $200 million. So how much did it make in total then?
Worldwide?
Yeah.
280. Yeah.
On the other hand, a little bit more to get there.
On the other hand, Morbius has made $156 million worldwide.
Damn, really?
And that's been out since the beginning of April.
That's a lot more than I'd expect. I guess that's the power of
only 69 million gross U.S. and Canada, so it actually has done the same amount as Fantastic Beasts, but in double the time.
Okay.
Which is also not surprising.
Gets to the same place, yeah. Just not not too enthusiastic for these movies anymore, unfortunately.
No, I was like all on Rotten Tomatoes too the other day, like looking up like different like tomato scores, because the movie that we both want to see that we haven't yet, which is Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is finally worldwide released, has a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
That was another one of those movies that I heard from my friends was very good.
Yeah,
I'm very excited
to go see this next.
Yeah. Well,
and then the other movie that we were both looking
the next
forward
movie
to,
that we have to do for the podcast is The Unbearable Weight of The Unbearable Weight
of Forgotten Talent, or of Massive Talent.
Yes,
which I've already seen, and I may go see again because this movie was great, and we'll talk about that on a later.
The trailer looks so good. Everyone, like you said it's good. I've heard from my friends it's also very good. I'm very excited. I want to see Nick Cage play Nick Cage.
Fantastic Beasts has a 47% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is not surprising at all. Morbius has a 16,
which is that's about right.
Rough, but that's also tomato meter. So audience score for Morbius is 71%, which the audience score is usually always better because critics are pretty rough with their movies. And, people like movies, so they're going to give them a better score. And Fantastic Beasts actually has an 84%. So if you're really, really, really into There's like a ghost behind me or something. Can you see it?
Yeah,
flashing?
I think you've had this problem before. I think it's something with
Have
your
I?
camera. I know. I
Oh.
think I've seen that happen.
Have you? Oh.
Yeah.
If you really like, you may enjoy this little finale of Fantastic Beasts, or finale,
Well,
I guess.
I mean, hey, if you want to check it out, check it out. If not, just don't. This is a whole week of movies. Maybe you could just skip. But I guess on the topic of movies that are coming out, why don't we talk about some of the movies that are coming out in the coming week? Even though we already know which movies we're going to be talking about.
There's two at least. There's two minimum.
Yes. I mean, as far as movies that look interesting to me for in the coming week, there's one, but there's two technically. One looks really depressing, and I don't think I can watch that. Also that director I kind of just avoid because his stuff is a lot.
So there are
Vortex.
actually a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of movies that I haven't seen that I need to go see.
That's also
that are
good.
already out.
Yeah.
The first one is Ambulance.
Oh yeah, the Michael Bay.
I have to go see that. I don't know if you still want to go see Cow, but Cow.
If it's playing anywhere, I'll see it. I don't think it is.
I don't know
though.
if it's playing anywhere. You might have
I'd
to
watch
get it
it,
on
though.
like online or something. Father Stew, which is the Mark Wahlberg priest movie. I still kind of want to go see that just because it's a true story. It's a true story. Follows the life of Father Stu Long, a boxer turned priest who inspired countless people during his journey from self-destruction to redemption. I saw trailers of it everywhere when I was going to see like other movies, and I was like, that actually looks pretty good. And I'm, The Northman, which is
The Northman looks fucking amazing.
Robert Eggers. I need to go see that.
That might be another group review.
Yeah. And then after that, I think this week that's upcoming. I'm a sucker for Liam Neeson movies.
I know, I saw that.
So I may go see it.
See it immediately.
It's called Memory. Assassin for Hire. Go figure. He always plays an assassin for hire.
Always an assassin for hire.
Finds that he's become a target after he refuses to complete a job for a dangerous criminal organization. A remake of the 2003 Belgian film The Memory of a Killer. So maybe this will be better than Black Light.
Maybe.
Which we've already reviewed.
I think for this week, there's this movie down here called Hatching. I've seen one or two trailers for it, and it looks kind of neat.
I thought
young gymnast who tries desperately to please her demanding mother discovers a strange egg. She hides it and keeps it warm, but when it hatches, it emerges and shocks them all. I hope it's like an alien thing. I don't know what it is.
It's a horror movie.
It looks weird, so I'm kind of about it.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I mean, yeah, like we said, I want to see The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. That looks really good. The Northman also looks really good, like we discussed. That's very poppin'.
And I've already got tickets for Doctor Strange, which is next week.
Oh, that also looks very good. So that's definitely something to consider. But besides that, I don't think I really have anything, honestly. I think I'm kind of good at the moment. Oh, also Everything Everywhere All at Once I need to see because I missed out on that. I also heard that was very good. So maybe this week I'll catch up on all the movies I missed.
We're getting into it now, man. Like May. I just looked at May. I don't know if you're interested in any of the horror movies coming out in May, but there's Firestarter, which I don't know if you've seen trailers for.
I've seen a bunch. It looks alright.
Men, which looked interesting.
Young Woman.
Which I think only has one female character in it.
Oh, that looks like it could be a lot for me to watch. We'll see.
And then you got Top Gun and Bob's Burgers.
Top Gun. I probably won't see those. Those will definitely be EU movies.
You're not going to go see Bob? I love Bob's Burgers.
Oh, I'm not a Bob's Burgers person. It's just not for me.
But no, we're getting into summertime, summer releases.
Yeah, people are it's gonna start picking up.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, at least we'll have no shortage of movies like we've had the last few months because that's been a little rough and not a lot going on. All right, well, on that note, why don't we peace out for this week and get ourselves prepped for The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent review. Andrew, do you have anything you want to plug?
Nope.
Perfect. I don't have anything I want to plug either because this is fuck Sonic. So, yeah. Thank y'all for watching The Filmmaker's Basement. I'm Brandon.
I'm Andrew.
And it's been a pleasure talking to y'all. See you next week.